Hi everyone, this is Anurag. Today in this session we are going to discuss about network tuning. Okay, what is network tuning? Why we need to perform network tuning? Let us see. Okay, when a database is up and running, suddenly what happened? Performance decreased. Okay, as a DBA, what we need to do? We need to troubleshoot the problems and we need to increase the performance. Okay, to increase the performance, obviously we need to do troubleshooting. Where we need to perform the troubleshooting? What are the areas we need to perform the troubleshooting? Let us see. Troubleshooting means where the problem is there, how detecting the problem, resolving the problem. That comes under troubleshooting. Okay, detecting the problem. Okay, so the areas where we need to perform troubleshooting is SAND. SAND stands for server, application, network and database. Okay, these are the several areas where we need to do troubleshooting. Okay, in server again CPU, memory, IO. Okay, these are the areas where we need to perform the troubleshooting. So by doing the troubleshooting, we will know where the problem is. By resolving the problem, obviously performance can be improved. Okay, so in this tutorial we are going to discuss about this class, network tuning. How to perform network tuning, how to improve the performance by performing network tuning. Let us see. Okay, so in network tuning, let us see the basic thing. Okay, first of all, here two databases are there. This is a client database, this is server. Okay, in this server some employee table is there which is not present in client. So client will send a request to the server for accessing the employee table. So server, not only employee table, for any request. Okay, server will process the request and sends the response to the client. Okay, by this, like this, communication takes place between client and server. To take this communication, network is essential. Okay, this network is provided by Oracle Net Services. Okay, this Oracle Net Services provides network between two databases by using two network files. Those are listener.ora and tnsnames.ora. These two are called as network files. Okay, by using these network files, a communication establishes between, that is network establishes between client and server. These network files are present in Oracle home locations network by admin. That means in Oracle home location there is a directory called network. In that network directory there is a directory called as admin. In that admin directory we can see this listener and TNS files. Okay, a client sends a request. That request first server should listen. For that purpose, listener should be configured on server. Remember this keyword SL. S stands for server, L stands for listener. On server we will configure listener. Okay, why? Because server should hear the request. Okay, that's why listener should be there on the server. On client, TNS should be there in order to perform the communication. Okay, now let us see. Now this is about network. Now let us see what are the problems that arises in network due to several types of server processes. Okay, a user process is generated. Okay, to serve this user process, server process is required. Okay, these server process are of two types, DSP, SSP. DSP stands for dedicated server process and SSP stands for shared server process. Okay, let us see what is meant by dedicated server process. Okay, What is meant by dedicated server process? Here, suppose these are user processes. Okay, user process 1, user process 2, like this several user processes are created. To this user process will send the request. To serve this user process, one server process will be generated. A server process will be generated. Okay, for every user process one server process, for every user process one server process, like this so many server process will be generated. Okay, this is called as dedicated server process. That means for one user process one server process is generated. This is called as dedicated server process. Think that here 1000 user processes are generated. To serve this thousands of user process, thousands of server process will be generated. So as a result, every server process requires some resources. As a result, due to generation of multiple server process on the server, burden will increase. As due to that, performance of server will decrease. Okay, due to the generation of this dedicated server process, the performance of the server is getting decreased. So to solve this, another type of server process is there, that is shared server process. Okay, in shared server process, suppose these are multiple user processes. This is SSP, that is shared server process. Several user processes are there, UP1, UP2, like this, so many. So these are addressed by a set of shared server process. Okay, see, we can set the number of shared server process. Okay, all these user process requests are served by the shared server process. Okay, how it will serve? There, 1 minute. Okay, so here this is a dispatcher, this is request queue, this is response queue. Okay, all this user process will send the request to, or all the user process requests are collected by dispatcher. This dispatcher keeps all the requests in request queue. From this request queue, SP1, SP2, so that is server process. This server process will take this request. Okay, will process the request and stores back the, okay, and keeps the response in the response queue. From the response queue, these responses are taken by dispatcher. Okay, this dispatcher will give this response to all the user process back. Understood, right? This is shared server process architecture. Okay, this request queue and response queue are present in large pool. Okay, you can set number of dispatchers, you can set number of shared server process. Okay, as a result, there won't be new server process generating. These three server process will be there. Okay, whether 1000 server process are generated, any number of user process are generated, all these user process are served by these three shared server process only. Okay, as a result, what will happen? There is no generation of new server process. As a result, resources of the server will not get wasted. If you want, you can increase the number of server process or decrease the number of server process. Okay, as a result, performance of the server increases due to the usage of shared server processes. Okay, like this, by enabling shared server process, we can improve the performance. This comes under network tuning. Understood the concept, right? Hope you enjoyed the session. We will see the demo session, that is practical session, how to generate shared server process, how to improve the performance of the system. We will see in our demo session. Thanks for watching with this video. Bye.